we're going to move on to Starr's Mill. I didn't think they'd be here. Did you?
I haven't been following them as much as you have all year long, but I think everything that I've heard is all the official quote-unquote prognosticators have not really given them much of a chance to get this far, and here they are. They have just stunned everyone. So it's got to be a huge high for those kids. This is the furthest the school has ever gotten, correct, in the playoffs. So that's massive, and that gives you the hairs go up on your arms, and it makes you feel all warm and fuzzy inside. And of course, they're not going to be battling the cold elements in the dome, so it's going to be a more pure football game.
Well, you mentioned the warm fuzzies, and I have to agree. That game was over last week with about 2.5 minutes to go. It was pretty glum, especially when that Tucker player gets the first down. I thought, okay, well, that's it. And then the ball came loose. Unbelievable. So, I mean, that kind of thing, you hesitate to say it. You don't want to jinx things, but, I mean, it just seems things are breaking right for this team.
Those are the kind of things that you really have to have happen. Those are the kind of things that make it a magical season, and that's kind of why I think sometimes playoff football, as hard as you work, and like the Sandy Creek team has worked really hard, and I know Starr's Mill has too, but some of it is catching lightning in a bottle because you have to be able to respond, and when that big play happens, whether it's just the ball that's popped loose and you've got to fall on the doggone thing, and they sure did that. The Grant Austin was the one that did that, right?
Davis, yeah, Grant's brother.
Davis.
Now, when you talk about Starr's Mill, the two players that come up all the time are quarterback Adam Hawley, running back Zach Lasky. Good news is Zach Lasky might make it back. I mean, unbelievable if you saw that hit last week, but he is working with the medical staff. They think he might be ready to play Friday.
Wow.
So that's hopeful. Lasky this year had 1,464 yards, 22 touchdowns rushing. Hawley had 17 rushing touchdowns with 1,140 yards. That's on top of the fact that he also threw for a bunch of touchdowns. His receivers that he's been hitting a lot, Jeffrey Green, Alex Riddle, who has just been stepping up and playing unbelievable. But this is just a full team, and their defense is incredibly physical. I mean, almost just like a Sandy Creek defense. There's just players in there that are just insanely good. Gunnar Carson, Eric Armagost, Ufamba Kamalu, Jack Thomas. The list goes on, and I'm looking for the list, but for some reason I don't have it. But yes, they've been playing really well. And one thing I want to touch on before we do wrap this up with Starr's Mill, I'm a Patriots fan. You all know that. They seem to be kind of like that Patriots team way back when they won that first Super Bowl, where they came out as a team. They didn't get introduced player by player. I mean, they know every week people are calling them the underdog, and they love it, and they come out and just, stick with it. Nobody gave them a chance against Tucker. They went down a couple times. They could have easily rolled over. I mean, their running back with 1,400 yards was knocked out in the first quarter, and they didn't quit. And the backup running back came in, scored 2 touchdowns, fell on the fumble. There's just something special about this team. I think they're going to be able to give Chattahoochee a good game. Now, Chattahoochee, their quarterback sounds a lot like Adam Hawley. Tim Byerly had 220 yards passing and a touchdown, and 133 yards rushing and a touchdown last week. Got to imagine he did that pretty much every week. Kane Whitehurst and Hunter Thomas, 18 catches for 194 yards and a touchdown last week. That's combined for both of them. I mean, that's crazy talk when you're getting that from two receivers. So Jeff Green, who's going to Georgia Tech next year, going to be playing right down the road from that dome. He's got a big challenge on Saturday. He's going to be one of those receivers he's going to have to shut down, and I think that's going to happen. Now, we were at the Griffin game. What were your impressions when you saw Starr's Mill against Griffin?
Well, I thought they seemed to move the ball pretty well, and they had a pretty good ball control offense. And I love smash mouth football, and in particular, I love defense. I grew up watching and idolizing the 1985 Chicago Bears. So any team that plays really strong on defense has my admiration. And that's a lot of that is thankless work. And you got to work hard to be prepared the whole season. And it's obvious both of these teams, their coaches have really prepared them very, very well for each game. But I think on the whole, Starr's Mill, I mean, I just love the way they control the ball. And anytime a defense can make big plays, I mean, that's the kind of thing that makes the difference between losing and winning a championship football game. So look for that. Maybe they'll make a big play on defense that makes the big difference.
Well, I think in a way, they've already had 2 games this year where the odds were stacked against them, and people thought, well, there's no way you're winning that game, Griffin and Tucker, and they won those games. So I don't know how much bigger. I mean, I realize it's for a state championship, but that intimidation factor might not be there. Where it's like, look, we've we've faced these insurmountable odds before. So I don't know. Like you said, I don't want to jinx them. Chattahoochee is a good team. They've scored 572 points this year. Starr's Mills only scored 470. Panthers have a better defense, though. 141 points allowed to 190. They've shut out 5 opponents. They've held people under 9 points 9 times. So just like Sandy Creek, they do not give up much. And if they do, it's a battle to get there. I mean, Tucker was on the 1 yard line last year and last week, and they couldn't score. They had to settle for a field goal twice. So if you're doing that, you're doing good things. That about wraps it up. This has gone on way longer than we thought it was going to go, but we hope you hung in there. We're glad that we could do this for you. It was fun to do it. It does give me back those Blitz memories. Make sure you go to the game Friday and Saturday. Go ahead. Pay the $20. Go to the Dome.
Be there or be square, as they used to say in the 80s.
I think for $20 you get to go to all the games if you want to, and it's $15 if you buy it at the schools beforehand. So the games will be on GPB on TV, so you can watch it on TV from the comfort of your home. But the Dome's nice. It's warm. You don't have to worry about being cold. And be sure you sign up for follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/citizensport, and also go to thecitizen.com. I'll be live blogging just like I did last year. I might have some fun, interesting notes and facts for that. So, anyway, we'll see ya. Thanks for tuning in.